While on the trail, you always want to keep an eye out for stuff like this. White birch bark, it's going to burn wet, dry, it doesn't matter. And you really can't cut it off live trees, or at least you shouldn't. So you find something like this, it's 100 fires worth of tinder. Put it in your pack, you get a lot of use out of it. It's what I'm going to use today to show you my favorite survival fire technique. Today I want to show you guys a couple things. One is how to use a magnesium fire starter. Real obvious to people who use them all the time and know how to use them, but someone just buying one, it might not be so clear. So I'll show you how to put together a fire with one. Two is how to build a Dakota Fire Pit. It's an awesome solution for, a hot fire that doesn't put off a lot of light and smoke if you're trying to stay concealed. But really, it's just a good fire for cooking, and it's good for any campsite. So I'll show you how to make one. So this is the Dakota Fire Pit. It's basically 2 holes, about a foot deep each, and then you hollow out a tube in between the two. One is for a fire, and the other one's for exhaust. You can also scale this up if you need a bigger fire. You can also scale the holes, scale the tube. Makes it a little bit easier to tunnel out in between. I like this size, for one guy, 1 or 2 guys. If you boil a small pot of water, cook a meal, this is perfect. To dig the holes and hollow it out, I cheated. I used this. Normally you wouldn't want to carry this with you in your pack, not on a long hike or even in a survival situation. But you could use a camp shovel. You can use your hands. It would take a little bit longer. Really anything. To hollow them out in between, you're going to have to use a little bit of handy work. I used a stick to kind of loosen the dirt. Get your hands in there, pull it out, and there you go. So here's some birch bark I found earlier. This stuff is just great. I mean, there's really, in my personal opinion, no big substitute for it. It just always burns, and it burns hot. There's oils in it, and that's what keeps it going. We had a lot of rain the past couple days, so finding this dry on the side of the trail, it's a great find. I always like to rip it up into as small threads as I can. If I carried scissors out here, I'd use those and I'd slice it up, almost hair thin. That will guarantee you get the effect you're looking for. But this is the basis to all my fires. So now it's time for the magnesium shavings. I always like to carry an old knife with me, that way I'm not dulling up one of my good ones. Because you're actually going to take this and you're going to shave off the metal. I like to do this on a bigger piece that I can kind of funnel into my spot where it's actually going. I already got some down there right now. If you're not too sure on your tinder, you can use a lot of this stuff, but it doesn't take that much. Just watch out for the wind because it keeps blowing it everywhere. Now comes the actual striking of the flint. I got a pile down in there. If you were building a fire above ground, this would be much easier. You put the flint right up to that pile and you spark it. Now I'm going to have to kind of aim for it and hope a spark lands in the pile, but it'll only take a little bit longer. It's been raining the past couple days, so finding dry kindling was a little bit difficult, but this should work for a fire this small. Then you want to feed this, make sure it doesn't go out. It's going to be a little smoky for a while because you're burning off that birch bark. And you can see how hot it's burning even with just the birch bark, because it's getting its fuel from right here. I can even feel the airflow being sucked in. So now that I got it burning, it's still catching, but you can see the air's going through that hole and really enabling it to burn hot. With these, I always like to give it some time, burn it down to coals, and just keep feeding it small tinder. And that way you won't be able to see it from a distance, but it'll burn hot enough to boil water, cook food, and the wind doesn't affect it. It's a very windy day, and it's unaffected by it. So now it's burning pretty good. It's not to coals, but this is a fire you could cook with. What makes this fire pit so special is that you could completely cover that, hiding the flame, but it would stay hot and it wouldn't go out. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Thanks for watching.